So I'm celebrating a birthday this weekend. My actual birthday is on May the 27th. And I thought it would be really great to just come out here and share with you all, the major spiritual lessons that I really got in this last year of birth. Now, let me just say this. For those of you who don't know, I actually celebrate my official New Year on my birthday, not on December 31st. So while I do totally participate in all the parties and all the celebrations, and I create New Year's resolutions and I create videos around New Year's resolutions, it's really because I know the collective conscious or everyone around the globe is celebrating, and I want to be a part of that party and really be connected to friends and family in that way. But for me, a new year is actually a birth year, and so I do very specific rituals and activities and practices to ensure that I really let go of everything that happened in that last year of birth and create very consciously exactly what I want to have happen in the new year of birth. Self-love and having a self-love perspective is really about consciously creating what you want and loving yourself unconditionally. So having regular practices or special practices for special occasions is really helpful. And actually, not to get off topic, but one of the things that I am thinking of doing is a birthday self-love program where I actually take people through all of the things that I do to have a powerful year of birth. So look out for that in the future. Let me just dive right into the lessons. Let's just get right into it. Lesson number one is you can't outrun your shadow. And I thought this was really ironic that when I went to the I Can Do It conference a couple of weeks ago, Gabrielle Bernstein, who is a very well-known international thought leader, was talking about it. And she explains it a little bit differently. Her experience and the way she processes is a little bit different. So if you were at this conference and you're watching this, I want you to know that I'm calling it the same thing, but I'm going to explain this in a different way. Another way to say this is the lesson repeats itself as often as needed. And I know many of us, especially if you've been doing the spiritual work for a long time, have heard that. So think about an area of your life where you've been struggling with it, right? It's a reoccurring pattern. It's a reoccurring problem. What I have learned is that anywhere I have a reoccurring problem, it's because I haven't been dealing with the emotional trauma head on. The way that I've been dealing with it is either trying to go around it, trying to escape it, or to figure out a quick solution. Examples in real life, okay? And while you're watching this video, I think it works best if you just take a real area of your life that you've been struggling with and apply what I'm saying, okay? You've been using quick fixes. So maybe it's your weight, or maybe it's finding a job that you really love, or creating a business. You've been reading self-help books. You've been listening to audios over and over again. You've been jumping on diets. You've been doing things to get yourself out of it quickly, to move yourself through it quickly, right? We want fast results. So anywhere you're trying to get really fast results is often the equivalent of trying to outrun your shadow. And what we know, or what I learned, is that you can't outrun it. If you do not deal with the emotional trauma, if you don't deal thoroughly with what is happening underneath the surface, it is just going to come up again and again and again. When things really started to shift for me was when I said, you know what, I'm gonna stop running. I just want to experience all of the pain. I want to experience all of the discomfort. I want to go through the stress, not because it's pleasant, but because I know that if I don't deal with this stuff, I'm going to spend another decade or two trying to overcome it. You cannot outrun your shadow. The lesson will repeat itself as often as needed. So in that area that you picked in this video, it's time to settle in, buckle in, and find either a therapist or a coach or a mentor who can help you deal with the pain, the trauma, head on. So on this new birthday, going into this new year, I feel free, whereas in the previous year and years before, I was struggling. I was still in a place of trying to figure it out. Lesson number 2 is your worth drives your wants. This is so huge. So think about any area, okay, where your friends and your family tell you that you deserve more or you deserve better, and you're struggling to see yourself or what you're capable of with the same intensity that they do. So I'll often hear people say things like, everybody says I'm so pretty, everybody says I'm so beautiful, everybody says I can be really successful, everybody says I can start a business, but I have this, that, I don't feel good enough, I don't feel ready enough, I don't feel strong enough, I don't think my idea is going to work, I can't do it. Whatever your version of that is, okay? If you're not dealing with your self-worth, what you see, what you strive for, what you want, the standards that you keep are going to be low. Your self-worth is equal to your wants and your desires. Or I could even flip it around. Sometimes because our self-worth is so low and doesn't feel, we don't feel good enough, we strive for things that are so outrageous almost, because it's a way for us to compensate for how crappy we really feel on the inside, right? So you'll often see people who are like, nope, if it's not $1 million home, it's not good enough. If it's not this car, it's not good enough. And it's because they're looking for things outside of themselves to validate themselves. Really important, again, that you do work on your self-worth so that your standards also increase and you don't fall into the trap of reaching for things, right, that may not necessarily be for you as a way to validate who you are. Number 3, the third spiritual lesson that I learned is communication creates your future. And I'm gonna keep this one really short and simple and sweet because I think you'll just get it, okay? But it is, in any relationship, okay? Friendship, romantic, business, any relationship, where there is little or no communication, there is no future. At least certainly not a healthy future. If you want to have a future with that person or those people, then start talking, and not just opening the mouth or flapping the gums, as we like to say, but real, heartfelt, authentic communication. Because that is where the gold is. Spiritual lesson number 4 that I learned is love yourself now. And actually, it would be unfair for me to say that I learned that last year, because I actually learned that when I started my business, which is why I started a self-love business. It's all about loving yourself unconditionally now. But what I would say is I got it on a much deeper level, so no longer feeling like, when I do this, then I can attract that. Or when I accomplish this, then I can manifest that. Or, feeling insecure, when taking photos, or feeling insecure in front of the camera, or feeling insecure when I write a post, or worrying about what people will think or what people will say. Like, all of that stuff, out the door. It's not to say that the thought doesn't occur, but it is so small up against what I'm creating, okay? And what I'm out here to do. And so that's what really resonated for me, is I just am so comfortable with my messy parts and my imperfections, and just so okay with not trying to know all the answers or having it together, that those things don't bother me really anymore. And so that's the thing that I'm really sharing with all of you, is to just get really comfortable with your mess. Get really comfortable with the parts of yourself that are unfinished and still evolving. And like, actually understand that that's the gold, that's the gold. That's your wealth right there. Love yourself now. There is nothing you have done. There is nothing that you haven't done. There is nothing that you need to do, and nothing that you need to fix or change for you to be loved for who you are, period. And then the last major spiritual lesson that I got was just to really keep your spiritual family close. And I said spiritual family because I recognize that there are a lot of people who may be watching this video who didn't come from a very nurturing, caring, or loving family. And I don't want you to feel like if you don't have blood bonds that you can't tap into, tune into, or access what I'm talking about. And if you're like me and you did come from a really great family, you have family members who have your back and who love you upside down, front ways, back ways, and sideways, then you know what I'm talking about. This is really about keeping those people in your life really close, honoring them. I'm talking about the people that are so close to you that there's no jealousy, there's no competition. It literally is like one of those things where it's like, if that person in your life doesn't succeed, if that person in your life doesn't do well, it feels like a death for you, because you really feel like you and that person or those people are one. Like, your life and your purpose on this planet is connected and tied together. So this is bigger than family, or the definition of family, really. This is bigger than the definition of community. This is bigger than the definition of tribe. This is bigger than the definition of sisterhood, because all of those are awesome and great and absolutely necessary. And yes, they are spiritual, but you'll know what I'm talking about if you experience this. And if you haven't experienced this, then open your heart, work with someone who is a self-love coach, or someone who does deep, work around love and loving unconditionally, and, self-awareness and that sort of stuff. Because there's nothing like it in the world. I'm gonna get choked up. You guys know I get choked up. I'm emotional. I'm very comfortable with that, but there's nothing like it in the world, being loved like that and having a bond and a connection to another human like that. And like I say, it's not just about being family or sisters or anything like that. It's so much deeper. It's like you are one. And you want to keep the people that you have that kind of connection with close, because they're the people that keep you going when you feel like you can't. Anyway, I feel eternally grateful. I have such a blessed life, And though I have gone through hell and back in my life, in so many areas of my life, I'm so excited about this new year, because every year gets better and better. Like last year was actually phenomenal for me. And yeah, it's just gonna be awesome. So I hope that you have found this video incredibly helpful. And if you have, you know, give it a like and share it with your friends and family, anyone that you think could really benefit from this. The one other thing that I want to say is, I know on my last vlog where I was talking about moodiness and irritability, I got quite a few questions from people who wanted me to talk about how to deal with somebody who is moody. And I am going to do a video for that, okay? So look out for that. I will do a Q&A response for that one. Because it's just too difficult to write it as a response. There's just way too much to talk about there. All right, so I am going to go off and enjoy the rest of the day. Y'all have yourselves a beautiful weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Mwah.